Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. How y'all doing? Hey, we come with a scary video on me. I got the cover and everything, bro. Just in case get wicked. But hey, welcome new subscribers, new peoples. Hey man, I know you watching. Man, damn, this nigga like my cousin. Hey, he low key hard though. Like no cap, the no neck look low key look good on him. Don't even hate on him. On me, and his teeth more straight than some of y'all out there. Stop capping. Hey, let's get on ahead and get to the video, man. Quick disclaimer. Hey, my name's Brandon. For those who don't know me, I just want to come and introduce myself so we could get to know each other. So now that we know each other, go ahead and let the go ahead and let the. Can't talk today. Hey, never mind. Don't like the video. I can't talk.
Things caught by drones. This 2012 drone footage was taken somewhere in an Ohio park and shows the apparently peaceful autumn landscape of the place. Despite the apparent calm, at around 5 minutes of the video, something weird can be spotted in the thickets. In fact,
The thickens? The thickens. Hold on. We gotta take that back. He said something strange could be found within the thickens. Shit, I'm trying to be found within the thickens. Shit.
landscape of the place. Despite the apparent calm, at around 5 minutes of the video, something weird can be spotted in the thickets. In fact, paying close attention to the left part of your screen, you should be able to see a mysterious creature stopping and looking up as the drone passes by.
Creepy ghost stories from each state, part 6.
Florida. Real ghosts in Disney's Haunted Mansion.
Florida's
in
scary
Pirates
by
of the
itself.
Caribbean. Cast members of the Haunted Mansion have reported hearing noises like laughter that are not a part of the ride's effect. Over at the Pirates, the legend is that during the construction, a welder named George died, and now a spirit inhabits the ride. Cast members yell good morning to him each day, otherwise the ride has unexplained malfunctions.
Did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself? Let's talk about it. Jeffrey Epstein had allegedly attempted suicide once before, a couple weeks before he was found dead in his prison cell. His cellmate at the time, 52-year-old Nick Tartaglione, who was a crooked cop who allegedly murdered 4 people, was the one that Epstein claimed tried to attack him that day.
Wait, if we know he's a crooked cop, why is this nigga still working? Hey, this must be after everything, cause there's no way we already know this man's a crooked cop. Wait, Jesus, can I talk today? Jesus, bro. Never mind, bro. I can't.
He went on record and said that it wasn't a suicide attempt. He claimed that this guy had tried to murder him in his cell. But Nick and his attorneys stated that that wasn't true, and he was eventually cleared by jail officials. But what's interesting is that after all of this went down, after Epstein was dead and the trial against Nick was proceeding, he and his attorneys requested the video surveillance footage from that day so that they could show that Nick had good character. They were claiming that on that day, Nick had actually attempted to help resuscitate Jeffrey Epstein. But they were told by the prison system that the footage, once again like the other footage we just talked about, was gone. Keep in mind that his lawyers requested this footage 2 days after the incident occurred, so 2 days after Epstein's suicide attempt, Nick and his attorney team requested to have that footage saved, but it still disappeared. So after this, a judge in New York requested that the government find the missing footage, and several days later, the federal government said, oh, we do have the footage. But then fast forward a little bit later, the government went back on their claims and said that the footage was completely gone and it had been deleted because of a clerical error.
What?
So this is the second set of missing video clips from all of Jeffrey Epstein's time in prison. So after Epstein took his own life, obviously stuff like hashtag Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself and stuff like that took over the internet. And at the time, the mayor of New York himself, Bill de Blasio, had something to say about all of this. This is a quote from Bill de Blasio: "Something doesn't fit here. It just doesn't make sense that the highest profile prisoner in America, someone forgot to guard him." In addition, Jane Doe number 15, she went on the record in November of 2019 after Epstein took his own life, and she alleged that she had been sexually assaulted by him years earlier.
Jesus.
She wore a bracelet featuring the phrase "Epstein didn't kill himself" to a press conference, which possibly indicated that she herself believed in the theory. Then there's this interesting clip from Amy Robach of ABC News.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will.
So what I'm hearing is y'all niggas scary, bro. Like, hey, y'all job is to give out real news, but the news fake anyway. We know this. We know this. The news fake, but hey, Hey, y'all, hey, talk your you feel me? Don't hide from me. Don't hide it.
That also quashed the story.
This is scary to
She
me
told
so far.
Everything. She had pictures. She had everything. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. Do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people. There were a lot of men in those planes. A lot of men who visited that island. A lot of powerful men who came into that apartment.
Disturbing things caught by drones.
Jesus
In this
Christ.
2017 drone footage, a man in Russia is spotted by a drone overhead, prompting him to react in a very unusual manner.
What the hell?
Initially, he tries to seek cover beneath his coat as he crosses the icy road. He then
This nigga think he famous, boy. We don't know you. We do not know you. Stop it, boy. This nigga think he drinking something, but we do not know you. Stop.
begins to run, looking over his shoulder the entire while, ultimately pretending to shoot at the drone with his hands. Despite the reaction,
Ain't no way this nigga just did that. Ain't no way this little ass kid, boy.
beneath his coat as he crosses the icy road. He then begins to run, looking over his
No
shoulder the
way.
entire while, ultimately pretending to shoot at the drone with his hands.
He probably just had
Despite the
fun.
reaction, the drone continues to haunt him until he attempts to forcefully throw a rock at it.
Numbers to never call, part 22. 801-820-0263. You have reached Christopher Bloodworth. When you dial this number, at first you're going to hear silence, but if you wait a few seconds, you're going to hear some noise, something which is almost delicate. Overlaid on top of these delicate sounds, you'll hear a male voice speaking a series of one-digit numbers. Don't get too comfortable though, the soundscape will change abruptly in a short order. The sound of a chainsaw will begin, and there will be more and more. Be ready. Follow for the next number.
The ghost stories from each state, part 5.
Colorado.
What she came in moaning in my ear? Chill out, man. I don't even know you yet.
The Buffalo Rose Saloon in Golden, Colorado. It's believed that a ghost of a girl who drowned in a swimming pool located in the basement back in the 1920s.
How the fuck you drown in a pool in the basement? Hold up, rewind. How the fuck you drown in a pool why is there a pool in the basement? What?
Colorado. It's believed that a ghost of a girl who drowned in a swimming pool located in the basement back in the 1920s still roams the building, skipping up and down the stairs and making employees slightly nervous.
Disturbing things caught by drones. In this 2016 drone footage, a boy is taking a drone into a cornfield for an Instagram video.
Why?
After recording some cool footage of the area, a weird and bright scarecrow catches the attention of the boy. He decides to have a closer look, revealing that the scarecrow is in reality a person dressed as a clown. As soon as the clown realizes that the thing inspecting him is actually a drone, he runs away and disappears into the field.
Have you heard the terrifying story of the train track man? And yes, this is a true
What are these names? The train track man. I couldn't come up with none else better. The train track man. Imagine being as 5-year-olds and your mom is warning you about the train track man.
story. In
What?
2006 in Wisconsin, a girl was hanging out with her boyfriend after school one day. The weather was great and they didn't have any other plans, so they thought they would go walk the train tracks on the west side of town. The track is situated with miles of woods on either sides and no one else around, and at this point the sun is about to set and the two begin walking down the tracks. They passed some boxcars and got further and further down the tracks. And 15 or so minutes into their walk, they got this sudden urge to look up. And they see it. A half-mile down, standing directly in the middle of the tracks, was the shape of a person, but this figure was unnaturally tall, standing
I would
still.
have started dancing on me. Like, on me, I would have. On me, like, nigga, on God. We finna have a dance battle on me. Whoever win get to take that person's life. And nigga, I'm winning every time. You're not getting me, boy. I promise you.
Arms
I
at
wouldn't be on
both
the train
sides.
track anyway.
What is that? We need to go, they said as they grabbed hands and spun back around towards the direction they came. They walked briskly for about a minute, and
Wow.
then the girl turned around to see this figure was now much
Man, that's
closer. It was like he
Slender Man.
suddenly jumped half the distance between where he originally was. The girl screamed and then they began sprinting, and a few moments later, she sneaked another look back over her shoulder. And there he was, now only one boxcar away. The unnaturally tall person was mere feet from them. They continued sprinting, refusing to look back until they finally made it back to their car and frantically jumped inside. They looked back up towards the dark tracks, but there was no one in sight. In years since, the two grew apart, but frequently sent each other Slender Man articles, as the legend resembles the figure.
Nigga, that ain't Slender Man, nigga. That's just KD, nigga. That's Kevin Durant, nigga. Stop it, nigga. KD, what you doing? What you doing scaring girls in the woods, man? Come on now. You gotta do better. What the fuck is you doing?
Figure that they saw that night to a T. The Slender Man only moves towards you when you aren't looking. Maybe he's more than just a legend. What are your thoughts on this story and the Slender Man? For more mysteries,
y'all
check out the
actually going to
podcast,
goddamn
YouTube
woods.
channel, and Instagram.
That's just me though.
The crime scene photographs of Jeffrey Epstein's
What's up with this nigga in Epstein?
prison cell after he took his own life paint a very different image than the official story seems to. So a lot of this information is taken from a Great 60 Minutes report. This is the noose that Jeffrey Epstein allegedly used when he took his own life.
Jesus.
When 60 Minutes conducted their report and wrote their story, sources told them that Jeffrey was cut down from where he was found by a prison guard. And if that's the case, a lot of people have pointed out that there's no real tearing. It doesn't look like anybody ever took a pair of scissors to this noose right here. It's just one of those small inconsistencies in the story that people question. There were a lot of different things found in his jail cell, but a lot of different people, crime scene technicians, even celebrities have questioned how a man who was almost 6 feet tall and 180 pounds could take his own life hanging from here to the floor. A lot of people have also noticed how these
The nigga slumped up like this. What? There's no way. Nigga, this is my first time hearing about the Jeffrey Epstein. There's no way. That nigga was leaned down. There's no way. The nigga just dropped. Like, fucking slumped over. There's no way he did that.
pill bottles and other boxes and things are sitting upright on top of the bunk. The same bunk that Epstein tied some fabric to and used to take his own life. So they've questioned why all of the bottles are in perfect upright position. Like I said before, you're free to think whatever you want to about this whole thing, but I'm just laying out some of the things that people cite as evidence that the official story might not be what actually happened. So this is Michael Baden. He's a forensic pathologist, and he's one of the people that kind of fundamentally changes this story. So he independently took a look at Epstein's body after the official autopsy report, and he noticed some inconsistencies. He said that the noose that was included in the autopsy report didn't match the item that would have been used on Epstein's neck based on his wounds. He also said that the ligature mark was in the center of Epstein's neck and not directly underneath the jawbone, as one would expect most of the time with a hanging like this. He's a pretty controversial figure, but he testified at other famous trials like the trial of O.J. Simpson and murderer Phil Spector, so the guy's overseen a lot of different autopsies. Another interesting thing about all of this is that there are no photos of Epstein's body inside of his prison cell. There's not a single picture. Various attorneys, pathologists, officials have gone on the record and said that they should have taken photos of the body because he had assumedly been dead for around 2 hours before he was discovered. So instead of trying to save him, they should have treated this whole ordeal like the prison cell was a crime scene. So I'm going to read this to you. This is a pretty interesting side note here. Among the injuries found on Epstein during the autopsy are contusions on both wrists, an abrasion on his left forearm, and deep muscle hemorrhaging in his left shoulder muscle. Photos also show an injury to the back of his
Nigga, I don't know what that shit mean, nigga. I ain't forensic. I'm not in forensics. Nigga, what is that?
neck, a cut on his lip, and an injection mark in his arm, though it is unknown whether the latter injuries occurred during an attempt to resuscitate Epstein at a hospital. Those are all just little minor injuries that have never been fully explained. But the injuries to Epstein's neck were the key things that Michael Baden emphasized. He discovered fractures on the left and right thyroid cartilage and the left hyoid bone. He went on the record and stated he's never seen 3 fractures like that in a suicide. He also stated that small capillaries that had burst on Epstein's face, mouth, and eyes were oftentimes the indication of strangulation as opposed to hanging.
I was just thinking, I'm like, probably somebody strapped his arms down, strangled that nigga, then, but we thinking the same thing. And I was like, then they set him up like he fucking hanged himself. But do that boy got a roommate or somebody probably came in like the crooked cop that we was talking about earlier probably came in, strangled him, set it up like a suicide, left him cause like if he a prison guard, he could be like, hey, I already checked this, he already checked him, he sure you good, everybody good in there. You feel me?
Follow for part 4.
Disturbing things caught by drones. This 2014 drone footage shows the desolate area of the Chernobyl power station where the disaster took place. As the drone turns around, an animal that could be either a deer or a moose can be seen crossing the road and hiding in the bushes.
Why is it moving like
While
that?
at first the video could appear innocent, slowing down the video speed will reveal that the animal has no head, likely as a result of the radiation.
Ghost stories from each state, part 7.
Georgia, when the Army Corps of Engineers flooded the foothills of North Georgia mountains to create Lake Lanier in the 1950s, 59 square miles of farmland, homes, and businesses disappeared beneath the water. In the process, the federal government relocated over 250 families, with over 20 cemeteries and all their corpses. A nasty streak of freak accidents and mysterious drownings have convinced locals that the lake has been cursed ever since.
I want you to imagine you just moved into a new home all on your own. You're starting a new job, your neighbors seem nice. But after you move in, strange things start happening in your new home, unexplainable things. A neighbor starts acting strangely and suddenly you don't feel so safe anymore and you don't know who to trust. Brand new Avery After Dark podcast Storytime is live. Link in bio. It's a thriller, supernatural, true crime original, all wrapped into one. You are gonna love it.
The boy in this photo, Martin Bryant, would grow up and kill 35 people in 20.
Hold on, nigga. Hey, I was just gonna say this nigga look crazy. He look crazy. Look at him. You telling me this? You telling me this kid not on timing? Look at him. I was just gonna say he look like he on timing right here. Look at the eyes. The eyes say it all. The eyes, niggas, the eyes.
And kill 35 people in 24 hours.
Jesus.
Martin was born in Australia in 1967, and growing up, his mother described him as a bit different. He would bully his classmates at school and really liked to torture and kill animals. This behavior caused him to be evaluated by a psychologist who determined that he had an IQ of 66, meaning he legally has a mental disability. At age 14, Martin's father Maurice purchased him an air rifle, and the kid would use it to shoot at birds and passing cars, earning him the nickname Silly Martin.
That nigga is not silly. That nigga is dangerous, Martin. That nigga name need to be dangerous, Martin. Let that nigga shoot at me. Hey, I'm running over your ass.
In 1993, his dad tries to buy a bed and breakfast near a place called Port Arthur, but before Maurice could get the money, another couple purchases it, causing him to go into a deep depression. He was found a few months later at the bottom of a lake with a diving weight wrapped around his neck. This event set Martin off the deep end, causing him to craft a plan for revenge. On April 28th, 1996, Martin drives to Port Arthur with guns and ammo and proceeds to kill the old couple.
Did this nigga blow their house up? Nigga, ain't no house. Ain't no way he was on that type of timing. Nigga, take this back. Nigga, did he blow this? What?
Craft a plan for revenge. On April 28th, 1996, Martin drives to Port Arthur with guns and ammo and proceeds to kill the old couple who had purchased the B&B. He then proceeds to take the lives of 33 others in the area before being taken into custody a few hours later. This incident causes the Australian government to reform their gun laws, making it near impossible for people to purchase a rifle or—
He had all them guns. They gotta be everybody else's guns, cause ain't no way he had all them guns. Ain't no way. Yeah, they gotta be everybody else's guns.
or a shotgun, similar to the ones Martin had used in the shooting. He pleads guilty to 35 counts of murder, and Martin Bryant is sentenced—
Look at that nigga. Like, do y'all not see, bro? Like, I just gotta look at these boys.
5 counts of
Jesus.
murder, and Martin Bryant—
Look at him. Like, dude, bro, you cannot tell me this nigga don't look out of his mind.
is sentenced to 1,035 years in prison.
Gone girl, gone wrong. This is the case of Sherri Papini. On November 2nd, 2016, 34-year-old Sherri Papini, a wife and mom of 2 kids, vanished in broad daylight. It seemed to have been an abduction while she was out on a run near her home in Redding, California. Her family, police, and community searched everywhere. Her husband tracked her phone via Find a Phone app and found it on the side of a road with strands of her hair. They feared the worst. Missing signs, searches, California and the states surrounding it were being searched high and low for Sherri. This was major media attention. That was until Thanksgiving Day, November 24th, 3 weeks after she had gone missing. Sherri reappeared on the side of a highway.
The fuck? The fuck? She reappeared.
She's seen here on video footage. She was found with a bag over her head, a broken nose, hair cut off, and was chained at the waist and wrists 140 miles away from her home. She had also been branded on her right shoulder. Sherri said she was kidnapped by 2 Hispanic women with a handgun and a dark-colored SUV, even going into detail about their appearance for a police sketch. She said she suffered reported beatings while being held captive. When police asked her what the kidnappers' motive was or why they released her, she didn't know. Sherri's husband and family were relieved that she was home, but law enforcement began having doubts about her uncorroborated kidnapping. One day,
Nigga just off of y'all be safe. Cause what the heck? Think she went on a run in broad daylight and got kidnapped? What the hell? Nigga, is this a movie? Like what? But wait.
The sheriff's office received a phone call from a man who told them that Sherri was actually with him the entire 22-day period she was supposedly being held captive. He said, basically, that it was a hoax. This man was supposedly an ex-boyfriend of hers. According to the DOJ, evidence found that Sherri fabricated the entire ordeal. Even
at least you're safe, I guess. Wait, these women ain't loyal. Wait, she just really just disappeared to really have fun with her ex? There's no way. There's no way. She was tired of the kids and her husband, so she disappeared to get some other meats. Amen. Hey, bruh. What we basically just realized that in this whole video, these women are not loyal. Like you could have just left me. You could have just left me. Why would you? Why? Why? This is terrible. That is. Anyways, y'all, if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, leave your partner if you don't want your partner. Don't do no Sherri type timing, bro. But y'all, thank y'all for watching for show. And I'll see you in this video. We out.